Hello everyone. For my book report, I decided to do it on The Culture Map by Erin Meyer. And I actually really enjoyed reading this book. Out of the four, this is the one I was most excited to read about. And right off the top, three things that I took away from this book that I thought were just key points is how absolutely key communication is, and being able to properly interpret different customs and cultures. And to do that, you really have to immerse yourself in different cultures and also learn about them so that you can properly adapt and really come across the way that you mean to come across to meet your goals, and also just properly communicate. So speaking about communication, there were two main factors in the book that I found to be very interesting. And the first one was about the way in which feedback is given. So it talks about how in the business world, feedback in America is given very in a positive manner. It is constructive, it is actual feedback, but it tends to be in a more positive light versus the way it is given in Europe, for example. So here, even from the beginning, starting in educational, in the school system, we find that the feedback that we get is usually like excellent, great job, written on your homework, stuff like that. And in the United States, it's also very positively given, but it is also constructive. However, if you were to give that sort of positive, great job, excellent work, great presentation type of feedback in Europe, it might not be taken in the manner that you mean it to be. It is, we mean as a compliment, and as positive feedback, rewarding, motivating. But in Europe, feedback is different. It's meant to be more direct, and you're not really worried about being like overly positive. You're direct and you're polite with it, and that is the type of feedback that is valued in Europe. So that is kind of a cultural difference there. Whereas if you were to give uh, overly positive feedback, it would kind of seem like you're glossing over, sugarcoating, or like you're basically not really giving feedback at all. You're really just saying nothing and trying to over flatter. It's really giving them nothing to work with in terms of feedback. So I thought that was really interesting, and it's definitely a very important point when it comes to collaborating with teammates, or just when you have to give feedback to show that you were listening. And so there's even a proper way to give feedback. It's sort of like a different language you adjust to. Um, and then the next thing that another point that stood out to me was also the point about kind of the way collaboration works and the way that expression changes depending on regions. So once again, kind of we saw that in the United States, we are confrontational and direct, but there is also more emotional expression there, and I think that is very apparent in terms of our political issues, especially ones that have been arising as of lately in the last couple of years. We see that it is confrontational, but there is also a lot of emotional expression going there, things that are taken more personal. And then on the other side, kind of like in areas like Germany, things are just said very directly, and there's not really much emotional expression there. It's like, this is what it is, and we can just talk about it productively without getting personal about it or patriotic or getting offended by a topic that's simply about a country or simply about a politician. So there's a lot of difference there in the way that you can productively disagree. And for example, in America, something that's very direct and just exactly how you feel about it, you might come off as maybe insensitive, or just not properly it's not going to be properly received. Whereas if you expressed yourself that way in Germany, you're just normally expressing yourself, and that's just how it is. Confrontational, direct. It's not really very emotionally attached, the way that you express yourself. So I thought that was also very interesting. And overall, the book had a lot of amazing key points and great examples that it talked about. I really enjoyed reading, so thank you so much for the recommendation.